Jim, turns out lightning does strike twice. Another late victory up here in the Highlands. What was your take on that one?
My take on the game is probably not too complimentary in terms of the standard and the quality of the overall 90 minutes, but of course we're absolutely delighted to have taken all 3 points. You know, sometimes in football you get games like that don't pan out the way you would like, and it's about showing a bit of resilience and a bit of character, staying in the game and seeing it right through to the last kick of the ball, and I think that's what the players deserve the most credit for today.
Could you tell quite early on it was going to be one of those nights where you were going to have to grind it out?
Yeah, I honestly can't remember ever coming up here and witnessing a really good game of entertaining football. They've always been really close, really scrappy. We had a different type of game plan tonight due to the team selection and due to 2 or 3 of the players in the starting 11 carrying knocks. We were trying to conserve a bit of energy. Tilson's hamstring was causing him problems last couple of weeks, and unfortunately tonight it just eventually gave up on him in the last 15 minutes. Alex Greive hasn't started a great deal of football, so that high press that we normally like to go with was difficult to do because Alex's fitness levels aren't where we need them to be in order to do that. So it wasn't a great spectacle for the fans that travelled up, but we're very, very grateful to them for the support, and I'm delighted that we were able to give them that late winner in the end to send them back down the road happy.
You're saying Alex maybe isn't quite where you need him to be, but he still looked energetic, and you can see the signs that he's going to give us, or he is somebody that's going to spin in behind and give us something a wee bit different up top.
Yeah, I think I think the reason we've brought Alex in is because he is a little bit different to Louis and to Tony. Both Louis and Tony like to come to the ball, like to try and link the game up, and we've lacked that little bit of energy and that little bit of pace in behind at times. Alex has got really good movement. He's quite strong for a little fella, uses his body really well, and I've got no doubt he will score goals as well. But I think tonight, really pleased with that type of performance on his debut in what was a really difficult game against 3 big, strong, physical centre halves. So he'll take plenty of fitness from it, and hopefully feel a little bit sharper and a wee bit fitter when the next game comes round.
Must be even more satisfying the fact that we have got so many senior players unavailable that we've managed to come here and grind out 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think when you start talking about players that you're missing, prior to games, people almost look at it as if you're making excuses before a ball is kicked, but we can't get away from stating what is the reality of the situation. We've got a lot of senior players, key players missing, Sybil'd unjustly in my eyes, with the red card on Saturday. Obviously Gallagher, Docherty, Louis Moult, to name but a few. So by the time the next league fixture comes around, we should have, I would imagine, at least 2 or 3 of those guys available. But credit to the group that were here tonight. We've got a very young bench there as well. You're kind of limited in terms of options to bring on and make changes in the game. But I've got to credit the whole group for the spirit and the character that they showed. And sometimes in football the result is more important than the performance, and I think tonight was one of those games.
Back to keeping a clean sheet as well after conceding 3 last week.
Yeah, I've got to compliment the back 4, the 2 centre halves in particular. I was very hard on Ross and Kevin after the game on Saturday in the dressing room, and I've been full of praise for them most of the season. And they took the criticism in the right manner. I've told the players, from day one, I'll always try and be brutally honest with them. And when they do well, they get a pat on the back, and I'll tell them. And when they do not so well, then they've got to be able to accept the criticism that comes off the back of that. And they took it like men and reacted in the right manner today. I thought both of them in particular were excellent. Really strong, really solid, aggressive. And thoroughly deserved the clean sheet.
In terms of your message to the players, it was one of don't give Raith Rovers any incentive, and again managed to pull out a result.
Yeah, I think it's important when you lose a game like we did last weekend. I think it's important to bounce back immediately. I think that's the sign of a really good team. I think it's a sign of good, strong characters. And the boys, as I said at the beginning of the interview, were resilient tonight. We were willing to allow Inverness possession of the ball, given the lack of energy that we felt we had in the team at the back. For all the possession they had, they didn't really hurt us. They had a good chance cleared off the line from a set play, but other than that, I can't remember Jack Walton having a great deal of saves to make. But neither did we, I have to say. We didn't create a great deal ourselves, and if the game had finished 0-0, I don't think anybody could have complained. But I'm delighted to be standing here on the right end of the result, and I don't think it's a game that people will look back on. I don't think it's one that we'll all remember too fondly, but what we will remember is a massive 3 points.